The Masjid Committee is now going to be moving Supreme Court is what we're given to understand. This comes after the Allahabad High Court refused to stay the order that came to the fore from the local Varanasi court that opened the doors of the Vyas Tehkhana for prayers to be held. They sought an interim stay, but that was denied by the High Court, which is why we're now given to understand that they are going to appeal to the Supreme Court, take further legal recourse as far as their fight goes. Ananya, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Ananya, they've moved the Supreme Court now, but what exactly transpired in the High Court? Why was their plea asked to be amended? Why was the stay refused?
Well, Poonam, the whole genesis of this petition comes up with regards to January 17 order, was subsequently to the January 31st order. There are two orders that were to be challenged. The main order was of January 17, which in fact the Muslim side had not challenged, and following that, the Muslim side had only challenged the order of January 31st, and that was the contention before the court that that this order has not been challenged. So how can the court actually go into that? And that's the reason why the court, the High Court, asked them to amend their particular petition and has kept the matter for February 6th. However, the Muslim side is saying that they will be knocking the doors of the Supreme Court in this particular regard. But how much of it does it play up is something that we'll have to wait and watch for, because the High Court has not dismissed their petition. The High Court has just denied them interim relief, that too just today on February 6th. If at all they are able to make out a good case, then the High Court may grant a particular stay in this. It can. However, the High Court has not, brushed away the matter. So will the Supreme Court be entertaining that particular petition? Will the Supreme Court actually go into all the merit of that particular petition when the High Court is already seized of the matter? Is something that we'll have to wait and watch for, because that would be a very, very tricky move for the Muslim side to go in and approach another forum. We just saw in a similar matter what happened in with Mr. Hemant Soren, where he had filed a petition before the Jharkhand High Court and then also before the Supreme Court. So subsequently, jumping the forums or not going to the first forum and then approaching the final forum might be against the judicial discipline, and that might affect them, because if you remember a few days ago when the Muslim side had knocked the doors of the Supreme Court with the same petition, with the same prayer with regards to stopping of the January 31st order, the Supreme Court had clearly stated no, please go back to the High Court. The High Court will hear the matter, and then only you can come back to us. When the High Court's order comes out not in your favor, then you can approach here. So that is what in fact the Muslim side, that is what the Supreme Court had said. And now the Allahabad High Court clearly today refusing to grant any kind of an interim stay. In fact, the UP government has been asked to maintain the law and order situation in that particular area. So we all have to wait and watch as to how things actually pan out, and whether or not they will be able to secure a relief from the Supreme Court. Not only a relief from the Supreme Court, but first whether or not they will be able to secure a hearing from the Supreme Court in this particular regard.
Right, Ananya, do stay on with us. We'll keep coming back to you for more as far as the legal battle goes. But after 31 years, prayers were offered inside the Vyas Tehkhana yesterday. That is going to continue now. We did see a queue of devotees who from outside were also trying to get a peek into the cellar to try and see